couldn't sleep at all last night. I don't know. I ended up rearranging my entire office because I couldn't get some things out of my head about Sebastian Rogers. He's a 15-year-old boy. He's on the spectrum of autism. And in that, he went missing around February 25th or 26th, depends on where you're looking. Now, here's the thing. I've listened a lot of what's been said by his stepfather. And one thing that holds true in each case that I work is that there are certain things that the last person that was with him says that will never leave my mind until I'm gone. And in Sebastian Rogers' case, it's the other night. I'm listening to the YouTube just like you guys. You know, I'm just a mom. And I hear the stepdad literally use this phrase. Now I'm giving you part of it. See, Sebastian liked to pee his pants. And I can't shake that out of my head. And then I remembered, which I'm about to show you the clip, him talking to Nancy Grace about a bed in the garage. Now, there's a rumor out there that the neighbor the neighbor could be the neighbor, but this person alleges that Sebastian was being made to sleep out in the garage because he smelled like urine. And the stepdad was tired of smelling urine. But we have nothing to back that up. And how would the neighbor know about the bed in the garage? And I began to really wonder all about this. And so we're going to dig a little deeper. And today we're going to do a little different than we normally do. So we are always live, but today it's going to be a live call-in where I get to hear your beautiful voice. And you can share your thoughts, your opinions on the Sebastian Rogers case and keep his name out there. Let us know, what you're feeling. But before we do that, I'm going to play a clip. And I'll open the phone lines and you'll be able to actually do call-ins as soon as the number is on the screen, okay? So everything we use here is under the fair use disclaimer, which you all know it by now. And with that, let's go ahead. Let's see. I think we want this one. And then, here we go.
I've got a question about the belt incident. You're telling me that was the only time that you ever hit Sebastian with a belt.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're also telling me that did not make it to CPS?
No, ma'am, that did not.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
Regarding Faith's furniture.
Yes,
a few days after Sebastian goes missing, did you replace furniture in Faith's room?
No, ma'am, I have not replaced any furniture in my daughter's room.
Is there any new furniture in the home?
Yes, ma'am, there's a bed that was given to me and it's currently in my garage.
Has anything been taken out of the home?
No, ma'am.
So we have a bed in the garage. And to me, there's always a hint of truth in every rumor. Welcome to 1111 True Crime. I am Mama D, everybody's favorite voice on the YouTube streets. Hello, my beautiful family. I am excited to talk to you and hear your feelings and thoughts. Now, there's going to be some of you that are like, how dare you talk about this? Listen to me. If this has to do with something where he decided he had to escape, like, think about the movie. Somebody left this in a post. One of our 1111 family members left a post, and I think it was something like Lights Out, remember the movie, Sleeping with the Enemy. And I was like, thinking about all this, and I'm thinking, if any of these allegations are true, I mean, how many times has CPS been called, but it's a false allegation? What is Chris talking about when he's saying, well, that last call, it wasn't even real. Like, it was nothing to see here. Like, they actually told Sebastian he could get in trouble for false reporting. See, Sebastian thought he could make me leave the house. And then we find out that Chris is also stating that he himself has not been in the home since the beginning of February. And it's like he talks himself into the timeline, and he talks for Katie when he's not there. And so, is he a decoy? Did something happen that night? Let's say Sebastian did make it home. Let's just say, hypothetically for a minute, that for whatever the reason was, that Chris thinks that, perhaps Sebastian was told to sleep in the garage on this extra bed, we'll just say that, because of a 3-hour phone call where some stuff was going to get said and they didn't want him to hear it. Could that have been happened? But see, we don't know what that phone call's about. That's something they do all the time, right? What are your thoughts on this? Could something have been stated or heard or something between the two where Sebastian would have walked out a different door than they're saying? And could Katie have just locked it without checking on him behind him? She never states she checked on him. He could have been gone much earlier. Now keep in mind, TBI's poster does say he was last seen on the 26th, which would be Monday. And to me, that doesn't make no sense. Not with what we know. All right, you guys, let's get over here. I want to hear what you have to say. So, oh, shoot, that was what I needed. Well, we'll just do it this way. There we go. There we go. I want you to know that if you are on replay, I humbly thank you. You guys feed the algorithm. You get everybody to watch it and get his face out there. And it really, really feels to me like it's the time to buckle down and hold the line for Sebastian. There's a lot of changes. Not everybody feels it's favorable. A lot of people do feel it's favorable. I personally just want Sebastian found, and I want to keep doing the job we need to do. Whatever the parents choose as a spokesperson or how they choose to communicate, I support them. Period. I may not care for the personality of the person. I do care about Sebastian. And if it frees a parent up to be able to look for the child more, I'm on board. Okay? So, but you may have a different opinion, and I really want you to express yourself, to not be afraid to share your thoughts. Just because I may disagree or we may feel differently, we still respect who you are and what your opinion is. We have had some of the most amazing people call in, and the phone lines are now open, and share. I can't explain the stories I've heard. It's been incredible and a learning process, and I thoroughly enjoyed the opportunity. And I feel like we as a family need to be there for each other. And so don't be afraid to call in. The number is 715-965-8617. You know, I tell you guys not to worry. Your face isn't going to be on there. It's just a phone call. I'm going to get the mic ready. All right. We're going to do a little mic check when they call in. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Let me see if I can get it to testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. There it is. It is not Sebastian. It's on WSMB 4 News. Lisa Mills. Okay, we're going to have to Google that. Hold on a minute, you guys. Let me see if there's a program that's going to tell us, because we're all waiting desperately to know. So let me Google it first before we get too excited. Sebastian. Missing update. Let's see if we get anything. Okay, here's WMB4. Now, I don't know anything about this news program. I'll try to talk louder. Okay, fact check. No credible lead found from photos circulating on social media as search continues for Sebastian Rogers. All right, let's switch over. I got it. Let's get it small enough you guys can see. Whoop, that's the opposite. Hold on, y'all. Work in progress. News, literally breaking news. Fact check. No credible lead found from photos circulating on social media. Search continues for Sebastian Rogers. Chief Deputy Eric Craddock said the sheriff's office has continuously followed up on all leads that come in. This was published today at 11:17 a.m. Nashville, Tennessee. WSMB Sebastian Rogers, 15, has been missing since February 26th, and according to the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, there are no new updates in the search for the teen with autism. Since his disappearance, the Sheriff's Office has looked into items found during the search, including glasses and pants that turned out not to be Rogers. Now, they've looked into a picture of a young boy that somewhat resembled Rogers in North Carolina. That's being circulated on social media. The Sheriff's Office confirmed to WSMB4 that they've looked into and reached out to North Carolina authorities about the picture. Nothing credible has been found from their inquiries. Authorities that have searched around his home and beyond have found no signs of Sebastian, nor has he been seen on surveillance cameras, investigators said. Chief Deputy Eric Craddock said the Sheriff's Office has continuously followed up on all leads that come in. Rogers' father has hired private investigators to help search for his son. However, he remains missing. Stop right there. We know that now that's been changed to no longer private investigators, but a PR person that'll speak for him. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office maintains they have found no evidence of foul play. Well, that's depressing. That's absolutely depressing. All right, you guys, make sure my phone line's working. Give me a call, 715-965-8617. Let me just double check I got that phone actually working. I always do this because I'm new to this, and I don't trust that I turned it on proper, and it refuses to listen to me. Yeah, everything's on. Let me get the volume up. All right, we are good to go. And you know what? This might be something we only want to do on call-ins late at night. We can do that too. I just thought it was something you might want to speak on. But how do you feel about this? I mean, it does hurt. I was really hopeful. I just wanted to really believe that. I can't imagine how Seth and those that love Sebastian feel. I'm sure that sucked the wind out of them, so we're going to have to hold the line. We're going to hold the line for Sebastian. And I'm going to ask you, if you're spiritual or religious or whatever, or you just want to send good energy, please do that for Sebastian Rogers. It does look bleak. We have nothing showing that this child made it home from the restaurant. We have a bed in the garage, which is concerning. Amy Barr says it's very simple. In my opinion, Chris confessed when he himself said he did not want Sebastian near his daughter. Katie knows, but is protecting Chris. It's so obvious. Why doesn't anyone else I think she meant to finish, say, see this. That's a good point. That's a very good point, Amy. He did say that. And we all know what he has implied of improper behavior. And now, when we get the unfortunate, tragic events of the mother's past, we now understand why Chris said the past has to die. Well, I'm very concerned about what past is he talking about. I'm just saying, it came right out of Chris's mouth. Hold on. You guys do a little self-entertaining for a minute. I'm going to get you a clip because it's important that you understand. Considering the past that the mother has tragically been through, consider Chris not wanting Sebastian, around his daughter, and the improper behavior that we've heard of. Is there a motive? And let me look here. I got to find Sebastian's file, lovelies. And then I need clips. And I just about opened that clip, interesting enough, today. Oh, there it is. It was right on the top. I must have opened it. How interesting. Because I didn't know we were going to do this. Hold on, you guys. Let me move you over. Did I paste it? There it is. Here you go.
I'm not accusing you of so, but again, Seth has said that Katie, and again, I'm sorry, Katie, that again, there was a time, and this is a long, people can change, but again, it's been said that Katie has struck Seth, and that, again, that's a long time. I wasn't there. So
No.
And I wasn't there either, for the record. Just so
so maybe Katie should answer this. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe Katie should just answer
No.
this.
That, oh Lord, no. That is a whole nother thing that happened back then.
Yeah. Well, that's what brought me to my question. So I was just wondering if, Sebastian stepped in. And then I had heard at another place where Seth had said Sebastian would step in. And I didn't even know if he was talking about that or not, because I heard about that separate, that Sebastian would step in and say, don't do this to my dad or whatever. And he could be talking about something totally different. But, again, I have to think all kinds of things in my head. So did Sebastian have tantrums at all? And
When
this is
he-
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a kid. I mean, it's even when I came in the picture, I mean, his tantrums were pretty bad. I mean, to the point. I mean, so I'm not dragging Seth, his mom, his sister, my wife. I'm not dragging people through the mud. So what is in the past is the past, and that really needs to die. And I'm saying that for everybody to hear, to include all parties involved with this situation. The past is a past that needs to die. Let it be. But
they
at
keep
the
saying
same
who's
time,
Rachel. So they keep saying who's Rachel. So you want to answer that before you tell them to let the past die?
Okay. So I got no problem. Rachel is my third.
I didn't know about Rachel. So
I don't care about his ex-wife or Rachel or nothing. I mean, I wish them all well. What I care about is that statement. That bothers me. But I was reading chat and somebody brought up about, I want to go back and find it because I found the clip to back up what you're saying. And I want to give you credit where credit's due. Somebody said something about this is going to go down in history. That Chris said this case will go down in history. And I have the clip. Okay. Ellie Bird, let's stay positive too. Chris stated this will be unsolvable case that they study for years to come.
I won't keep y'all on here all night, but I want to ask you, like, how did there's just a couple more. How come Ellie, do you think, hasn't publicly cleared you, like in the public cleared you, come out and said, hey, their parents are clear? Because I
They
know what
can't.
you've said, Chris.
Right, but
Why?
they can't.
Why?
Because the
Protocol.
investigation is still ongoing, because Sebastian is still missing, which is why they came out and clarified that no, we are not suspects, and yes, we are.
If you're not,
I wish nobody would have filled in the air, just left her, because she could not say the word cleared. She couldn't. She froze. Listen to it again.
if you're not guilty, the first thing that they would,
Um,
if you're not guilty, the first thing that they would do, just like with Elizabeth Smart, is come out and say,
Sebastian is still missing, which is why they came out and clarified that no, we are not suspects, and yes, we are.
if
Are what? Ugh. Right? Hey, Robert Westfall, thank you incredibly much for that very cute snooper chat. Thank you for the $5 snooper chat, Robert. Thank you, thank you. MS Land says that is debunked. It is not right. What is debunked? Oh, yeah, you guys listen. I know some of you saw a video of the two flashlights and then it was blown up really, really super big. And some of you believe that that is activity of people and stuff like that. To me, you guys, and this is just my humble opinion, I just see leaves moving in the wind. And no matter what, that's what I'm seeing. It's not accurate enough to be people that blink in and out and move in different places. They wouldn't move like that, in my humble opinion. But you may feel completely differently. I don't consider it debunked or whatever. I won't use that word. But to me, that's my opinion. But I'm just a mom. You might have a completely different opinion. Cassie Christensen says, how can he seriously be laughing right now? I don't know. Diana Bond says it shows three people fighting and funny how everything that is found, CB says it isn't Sebastian and they will never find him. Well, I guess some people do see, movement over there and they believe that it's people fighting. I can't see it. I cannot see that at all. All I see is that's leaves blowing in the wind and the lights from behind. That's a constant light and the leaves are what's moving. And that's what I see. I'm sorry, y'all. I have to tell you the truth. I have to keep it real. Kelly S. says, if there's a custody case between Chris and his ex for custody of their daughter, I think he has Buckley's of winning this case. Buckley's. I don't know what that means, lovely. That was my British way. I don't know how to talk it. I have no way to do accents. But yeah, it wouldn't help the case at all for a child to go missing. You're not going to win another child. No, nay. How many ex-wives does Chris have? I guess 5. All right. Let's get everybody set up. Hello and welcome to True Crime. How are you today?
Hello, it's Annie Jean again.
Well, Annie, welcome back. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great again as usual. All right, so I know we talked the other night.
Yeah.
And I just told you how wonderful you're doing and all that, but there's a couple things that I kind of wanted to throw out there. Now, I've been watching this case on multiple podcasts, and everybody gets their opinion and everything, but now with this situation with this dad, Um, I don't know if there is, I mean, there's probably a door to the garage, but in another podcast, Chris came on and said, I think it was Web Sleuths, and he was like, he walked out the front door, the
Yep.
front porch.
And
Now,
onto the front porch.
yes. Now, when I look at the layout of the house, it looks like the garage is really close to that front porch, but I can't really get any more pictures on where the doors are. So, I mean, it's just speculation, but if he knows for sure he went out that front porch, he could have been in that garage. You know what I mean?
I do. That really
so-
makes me puzzled. And two, why would Nancy, listen, Annie, you and me both know Nancy Grace isn't going to ask something that there's no point to. So why did she ask about furniture? And then we learned through Chris about a bed that was given to him. So it's used, most likely.
Yeah, that was kind of puzzling to me also. And then another thing that was kind of concerning was, and I know nobody ever really mentioned this, but I picked up that when Nancy Grace asked him about the belt situation, Katie ended up talking first, and then she cut off Katie and said, to Mr. Proudfoot.
Yeah.
To me, I feel like, and then after that, he was like, oh, I thought you meant Katie. So to me, that means to me that Katie might have also hit him with the belt at some point in time. And she was trying to explain that situation. But then he kind of like went into her conversation and was like, oh, that was a few years, because she said a few years ago. And then he had to fill that in. Oh, it was a few years ago. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of weird, that whole situation. And nobody ever caught on to that. But that kind of made me think, like, maybe Katie did hit him. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay, listen to this. Listen, I'm taking what you're saying and I'm adding on to it right now.
Okay.
Because I have the other half of that piece of that picture. So,
Okay.
when Chris had an interview and he was explaining that CPS came due to the belt thing and they were just actually sitting down to dinner, remember?
Yeah.
Okay. What he said was, we knew the lady, she had come before, but that wasn't about me.
Yes. And I did see that too. I did.
That backs up
So,
what you're saying
yeah.
to make you think that. It does appear, it would seem, like, yeah, Katie was not passive.
Right. And I really wish that Nancy Grace would have just let her speak. You know what I mean? Because I know Nancy Grace was trying to push the question to Chris, but she was trying to explain something, and I think she probably thought the question was at her, and even Chris said, oh, I thought you meant Katie. You know what I mean? Like, so something like you just put the pieces together, but there had to have been some kind of abuse with Katie also. But yeah,
Annie,
it's wild. It's crazy.
Annie, guess what they're saying in chat?
What happened?
They're saying, like Lee McKenna said, I think that was the thud.
Oh my gosh.
See, we're all working together here, and it makes you wonder, because I actually have a little part I want to show you guys. You can stay on with me. We're going to listen to, where is it? Is it this Nancy Grace one? Oh, shoot. No, it is. I've got it. I'll grab it. You keep telling me your thing and I'll find it, okay? So
Okay.
You're explaining to me that basically you're feeling like Katie might have release some tension in a very negative way.
Yes, and I just wish that, because I feel like a lot of these people question Katie, but either they cut her off or Chris cuts her off. You know what I mean? It's like, I really wish that we could hear her speak. And I think that we can get a lot out of her if she would just speak by herself. Because a lot of times people either cut her off or Chris cuts her off, And like you said in your other interviews and everything, podcasts, that Katie could be on the spectrum. You don't know. I mean, you really don't know. So, but yeah, so that's my intake on that. And then I also wanted to call in the other night, but I was just I have 3 kids, so my
Oh, bless your
daughters were
heart.
really busy.
Well,
Yeah, and
and
actually my first daughter, she has epilepsy. So I witnessed a seizure with her literally probably last year. So it's really scary. And if I ever heard a thud like that in her room, oh my gosh, you would believe me, I'd be banging down that door and wondering what the heck is going on because of the seizure issues. I'm like, nope, I'm going to figure out what's going on. But yeah, so that was kind of puzzling to me. But anyways, as I was saying before in your other podcast, you mentioned that you were kind of wondering why the missing report or whatever said, or the flyer, I think it was the missing flyer, said last seen at Stanford Court.
yeah, on Monday.
Yeah. I was wondering, like, if that was just the police stating that it was at the home, but they can't say that in a missing. I don't know if can they say that? I mean, can they say last seen at his home at Stanford Court, or just last seen in Stanford Court, meaning that it was his home, meaning that they believe Katie. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean, like, if they say last seen at Stafford Court, maybe they're just taking Katie's, side on it and saying, oh, well, the mother saw him at the home, and we're just going to say Stafford Court because we can't put the address, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's just kind of weird on that, too. Don't mind me. I'm just kind of
No, I'm
trying to
listening.
figure things out. I
I'm
just wish
with you.
Sebastian would be found, the poor boy.
Well, let's do this little part here about the thud. We'll play it together, okay?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to mute us for a minute where they can't hear us, but I can still talk to you if you want, but I'm going to play this part for us. Okay, you guys.
Wonderful.
Here you
Earlier, you had stated you heard a noise in his room before you went to bed. What time was that?
Around 10 o'clock.
10 p.m. What did it sound like?
Just a thud.
A thud. You stated that you said, look, I don't care what. Earlier, you had stated you heard a noise in his room before you went to bed. What time was that?
Around 10 o'clock.
10 p.m. What did it sound like?
Just a thud.
A thud. You stated that you said, look, I don't care what you're doing in there, go to bed. Is that right?
I was on the couch, which is near his room, and I said, Bubba, did you fall out of the bed? And he said, no, ma'am. And I said, well, whatever you're doing in there, knock it off and go to sleep.
So you heard his voice at 10 p.m.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any idea what the sound actually was?
I do not, no.
If he were to go out his window, what would he step on?
Mulch and bushes.
So, what if, I'm just asking Annie, let me get this mic set back up. Can you guys still hear us? Yeah, okay. Hold on, you guys, it's bumpy. Sorry, I had to change the mic back and forth. What if the thud came from the garage where he was sleeping?
Right. Because if you look at the layout of the house, it goes the front porch, and then I don't know what this is. What does this say? It says foyer. What is that? I don't know what that is. Anyways, okay, so you go to the front porch, you go into there. There's the garage on, it looks like on my view it's on the right, and then on the left there's a flex room, a bath, and a bedroom. So I'm assuming his bedroom is right by the kitchen. That's what she's been claiming. And then you go into, it's called the great room, which is probably the dining room. Or the living room, I mean. Probably the living room. But the living room is close to the garage and his bedroom. So she heard a thud. She could have heard it in the garage where she was sitting on that couch. Just looking at the map of the layout of the house.
Yeah.
You know, so it does kind of question and kind of wonder, you know. I don't know if you've seen the layout of the house. I have
Yeah.
a little photo here, but yeah, I mean, if you look at it, you can kind of see where everything's at. And it does kind of seem like if she heard something, you know, how does she know it came from his bedroom? How does she know where it came from? You know what I mean? Like, if it even happened, you know, something could have fell in the garage. You know, sometimes that happens where you have some stuff hanging up and, you know, shovels or whatever, and they just fall. You know what I mean? Like,
Annie, you're making me think really good. So I have a question for you that you made me think of, okay?
yeah.
All right. If you were alone as a woman in the house with one other human being, and you hear a thud. Now remember, thud, you don't use that word often. That sounds
really,
like
no.
Nancy Grace said, that reminds you of a dead body hitting the floor. But anyway, so you hear a serious thud. It's not questionable. It's not like, I thought I heard a noise. It's a thud, right?
Yeah.
And you say to the other person, you okay? And they're like, yeah. Now, are you not concerned that that thud was from somewhere else? And
Right.
you would go look, you know.
Right, exactly. And you know, me, what I would do, I would have opened that door and been like, did you fall? Did something happen? I heard like a big bang. Are you okay? And then if I find out they're okay, then I would go, you know, in the kitchen or the garage or wherever, you know, the porch, you know, maybe someone's banging on my door. I don't know. You know, and it's like, just like you said, you would look, you know, and it's just kind of concerning. I mean, I don't know her state of mind. You know, I'm not sure. She does kind of seem like she's kind of just spaced out, you know, kind of, you know,
What?
in the
Oh
focus.
my golly.
But I mean, I have no idea, you know.
Annie, what if, okay, you know, my brain doesn't quit, right? So I'm thinking about this and I'm thinking about okay, so let's say the thud was in the garage. Let's just say that for a minute. Hypothetical, throwing spaghetti at the wall. Here's a question. It was chilly that night. I know there's a lot of people that are like, no, it was super warm. Y'all, it's not super warm at 40 degrees even in a cement floored garage. No. And as far as I know, it's not a heated garage. However, I got to thinking, what if, you know, kids do really dumb things? Just generally? What if Sebastian started her car and turned the heat on, rolled the windows down, and she was too busy on the phone and didn't notice?
Right.
And he got carbon monoxide.
Carbon monoxide poisoning. That would, yeah.
That could make a thud. That creeped me out just now. What do you guys think? What do you think, Annie?
I don't know. It's really hard to think about it. It's just, it's creepy.
Some people think that that's how he got out, was through the garage. Like he was sleeping in the garage. And back to that poster, they made the post, you know, of like the idea of lights out while we know the house was dark. And then, you know, the sleeping with the enemy. If the house was a place where, but if this place was like, I'm going to escape, right? Why would he not go to Seth?
Right, exactly.
Did he
you know,
try
but another
to?
thing that might debunk your theory on that is if he did turn that car on, the lights would go on, right?
Well, that's the
Wouldn't
thing.
anybody-
That's interesting you say that, Lovely. Those are the only lights that were reported on all night was the interior lights of the garage.
Oh,
So
really? Okay.
what
All right.
if?
Yeah, yeah.
What if?
That is true.
Holy crap, right? That could explain why the
Mm-hmm.
lights are on. And if she's all zonking out while on the phone and not checking on him, she may have not even realized that that car was running, especially if she
Mm-hmm.
has a very quiet car. I have to,
Yes.
I have to be on top of my car to hear my car running. However, I can hear when it started. So maybe she was like, you can warm it up, but make sure and shut it off in there.
Right.
I'm just throwing stuff at the wall, seeing if it sticks.
Yeah, allegedly. We don't know for sure, but there's so many theories, so much stuff out there. I wish Ellie would just give an update.
Yes.
Because in my personal opinion, I really do think that they have some stuff.
I just
I
got
really
even
do.
more creeped out because I can't stop. My brain doesn't quit. So now I'm like, okay, let's say that thud was actually what we just discussed. Your vehicle is right there and running.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
literally make a transfer and go look for him.
Yeah, that's
I got to take a second. I'm going to let you talk. That's disturbing. Maybe that's why I was up all night and I kept hearing this about this garage thing in my head.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know for a fact there was a bed in the garage because Chris Proudfoot said it. And so I
Right.
couldn't get my head out of that because I personally, I could never allow one of my children to sleep in the garage. I couldn't even let a homeless person sleep in my garage. They would be in my
No.
house. They would be in my house.
right. I mean, it's ridiculous, I mean, I have my brother live with me, but he lives in a camp. But I mean, it's a camper and
Campers
it's
are
got heat and it's got
different.
stuff.
Campers
so
are off the ground, and so they can be warmed. They're set up to heat.
yes,
All kinds of
exactly.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's just so. I consider that luxury to be camping in a camper.
Yeah, it is. He loves it, but yeah. Another thing that I questioned was that I know Katie said that she was on the phone with Chris
Yeah.
until after midnight, right?
Hmm.
I don't know if they can trace calls and they can actually hear what that individuals were talking about or not. But could she have just called him and just leave it where she's not even talking? Just make it seem like she's on the phone with him, but yet it's just running. You know what I mean? Like, as an alibi.
Well, and that's the question we all have. And the answer is this. Chris Proudfoot answered that question to a lady. He got very snippety, but he said he refuses to answer that question because he was told by TBI to avoid speculation to not answer the question. Well, that really leads me to believe that if he could say, yeah, they tracked our phone, we were talking, that would not lead to speculation. That wouldn't. People be like,
Right,
oh, okay.
right. So, yeah, that does make sense because
So
I
it
did hear
only-
that today about the
yeah,
phone.
it only
where
left-
it was standing still. Yeah, I did hear that.
Well, it only left one option then that would lead to speculation. And that is,
Exactly. If he just had it sitting there and then she just had it sitting there, they weren't really talking. They just had it where it was connected, but they made it seem like, oh, we're on the phone, you know what I mean? But they could be doing other things, so it could be like an alibi. But I don't really know much about law enforcement stuff, but I don't know if police can tap into that call, if they
I
can
have no
listen to see
idea.
what the conversation. I'm not sure. But
I
yeah,
have
it's just
no
another thing to
idea.
think about.
I don't think they could be able to tell what was said unless it was recorded onto the phone, simply because
okay.
other cases, they would have used it in trials. Been like,
yeah,
well,
but they can see that there was a phone call made and how long.
yeah, they
it's
can
been
tell
on.
that. They can tell
Yeah.
metadata. They can tell GPS. They can tell if the phone is moving or not, or if it's sitting still. And the reason I can tell you that is because when you go in, unless they're mobile part was turned off. But like if I go on my phone and I'm like, all right, give me my map and give me the directions, it is literally tracking my phone is moving.
Yeah, that's really cool. I just learned that today. I didn't know they had that kind of technology. That is really cool to
Well,
know.
MapQuest is satellite tracking your movement. So let's say a crime is committed and they get the guy, and the guy's like, I never went there, but he was connected to MapQuest.
Yeah, because I know they can find your location.
Yeah, it's a done deal.
Yep.
I mean, we all need to get a better understanding of how this all tracking works. I mean, because look at the Idaho 4 case. That whole case is based on location and tracking, right?
Right, and with Katie being in the profession that she is, she knows this kinds of things. You know what I mean? So it's...
you get a gold star.
Yeah, I mean, she already knows how to manipulate the system about this kind of thing. But I mean, even with Sebastian not bringing his phone, that's a red flag right there. And the shoes are another red flag. It's like they're trying to, I mean, did he even have clothes on? I don't know.
Annie, if there was a thud in the garage, he wouldn't be wearing shoes. You sure the heck aren't going to touch him and go back in that house?
Yeah.
You're going to... Yeah, you would just transfer directly from bed to car.
Uh-huh.
Holy shnikes, Batman. I want to do a shout out real quick with you, Annie. We have Canadian True Crime Buff who just gifted 5 memberships.
Oh my gosh, yes, wonderful.
Let's welcome Sam R., Amy Barrett, Kathy Tincher, Diana Bond, and Miss Tina. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, everybody. Thank you incredibly much, Canadian True Crime Buff. That was very generous. That was very kind.
Sweet.
Yes.
Well, Mama D, you deserve it.
Well, you know what? I think you all deserve it. I've been doing a little work on the background here, trying to decide what to do with the other channel. So I'm going to ask every caller that calls in what they think about this idea. Okay? Now, I have to go where my gut is guiding me, but I don't know if you know, but I'm actually a painter. I'm an artist.
Oh.
Okay?
Oh, wonderful.
And I've been thinking about painting live on the other channel and just calling the channel Mama D. So YouTube had a fit that I used as a library and said, no can do, and put me on a warning. And so the channel is flatlined. I have till like May 20th, I think. I think it's around there to decide what I want to do.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because I put the trial of Karen Reed on there because I was like, we're going to make a library. But I didn't edit it because I'm like, it's a trial. I want it pure. I don't want nothing on it. I just want to preserve it.
Right.
That is called no. You don't do that on YouTube. I didn't know that. It was a hard smack.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
well, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Would you tune in, or do you feel anybody you know would enjoy watching me paint a painting?
I know I would watch.
Would you?
Well, yeah, maybe you can teach me a little something. I don't know how to paint for nothing.
Well, I am going to toot my own horn a little bit. I will say I'm pretty good. They call me a little Bob Ross.
Okay.
So could it be fun? Like, I don't know. It'd probably take me about 3 hours to do a painting. I'd go live. I'd have to take breaks to tinkle in between, of course. But I was like, that could be fun to do. But anyway, I wanted to ask your opinion. I'm going to ask each caller. And I'm also asking everybody in the listener section as well.
Okay.
Okay, we're getting good. We're getting good vibes. People are like, I think your show is awesome. Oh, thank you, Diana Bond. Mr. If says, I would definitely watch and moderate. Cool. That would be a lot of fun.
All right, we got a couple people on board. That's awesome.
Well, let's get back on to Sebastian here. I know that there's been a lot of changes, and I know a lot of people are, really feeling that the changes are almost too abrupt. And so some people are kind of putting the case down a little bit and looking at other things. And that concerns me.
I have another thing I want to say. When he went on Web Sleuths and started raging over...
CP?
Yes, CP. When he started raging over all these people speculating. I mean, I can understand his point of view. I wouldn't want to be the out person in the world either. But he kind of brought it upon himself, with all this kinds of things. But anyways, when he got so upset about people basically, what is that word? I don't know. Well, basically, people are saying, oh, you own a cemetery. You know what I mean? And
okay. It was weird he called that outburst, wasn't it?
It was weird, and it was even more weird that he got so upset about a cemetery when a cemetery is very close by his house. And that kind of made me think, like, he's getting paranoid about a cemetery. Like,
maybe that's why. Maybe,
you know what I mean?
Annie, maybe that's why we're hearing about, like, past private eyes for Seth, and we're also hearing from the new spokesperson and Seth himself about warrants and trying to get permission from CP.
Yeah, maybe, huh?
I mean, I can't not look at, like, if somebody throws all the chips on the table, you're going to count them up.
Right.
Oh, my goodness, Annie. Jennifer Swain just donated $50 snooper chat. Thank you, Jennifer.
Oh, my gosh. Thank you. Thank you so much.
They're enjoying your call so much. You're getting so much support because they're saying this is a productive call. We have Lee McKenna saying, I think we're getting somewhere.
I could talk about this case all day long. I mean, I've been every day watching this. I wake up in the morning, I go on YouTube. I'm like, did they find him yet?
Well, you're going to have to be a regular call-in because I like the way you and I both are feeding off of each other and understanding this case. We have the same language, the same knowledge. Really, really, I like this, Annie. I appreciate your time.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, but I wish I could talk longer. But like I said, I have my girls,
and they need to come first. They should come first, and they do come first, and that's why we appreciate that. And,
I mean, your night calls are really a lot better for me. Because I put them to bed.
Yep.
But I just decided to call today because I'm like, my eldest one, she's at softball right now, and then I just have the two little ones. I have a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old. So. But the 2-year-old's taking a nap and the 6-year-old's painting and coloring. So I'm like, all right, maybe it's my time to call her.
Annie, that would be great.
She loves art. Huh?
That would be great because, see, here's the deal. On the other channel, it will be made appropriate for children to watch painting. And so she's into painting. You can give her paints, her watercolors or whatever she has.
Yes,
and she can just paint along with me.
Yeah, my girls were laughing because they're like, "Oh, Mommy, you're on TV. That's you." What? I was like, "Yeah, that's me. You see, I call in." So they would probably love to see the painting too. I mean, they're girls. They're artists. They're fun and exciting and stuff. We have a lot of fun together. And like I said, my eldest has epilepsy and she had seizures, so I kind of really do understand that whole situation. She is a little bit slower, she has to have time to process things, and I totally get that. So I can relate to Sebastian a little bit here. If he was my son, I would definitely would have checked in on him, no question about it. But we're all different, so.
Well, I want to say thank you. I know you got to get going. I totally love the fact that you called in. Give your girls hugs and kisses from the 1111 family, and I will get busy on getting some painting stuff set up, like I said.
Right, awesome.
And I will talk to you again very soon, Annie.
Oh, beautiful. And remember, Wisconsin rules.
I don't know. Sometimes it drools. I love
Oh,
you.
yeah, true. You know, the Packers are really not that good, but
No.
okay.
Have
All
a good
right.
one, love. Bye-bye.
Yeah, love you, Mama D. All right,
Love you.
bye.
Bye. Oh, I just love that call, you guys. That is so wonderful to be able to converse with you guys. And she did a fantastic job. Um, Great communication, great thoughts on the case. And she had called in, I believe, a couple nights ago. And again, great conversation. So a big shout out to you, Annie. Everybody in the family here absolutely enjoyed that. Now you're shit hot at it. What? I don't think Lee McKenna typed that. I know her. She got something wrong there. Ellie Bird says, I never heard the clip of what CP said about this case staying unsolved. Okay, all right. I feel you, love. Let me get over here and get that one. Okay, let's get you this clip.
I won't keep y'all on here all night, but I want to ask you, like, how did there's just a couple more. How come Ellie, do you think, hasn't publicly cleared you, like in the public cleared you, come out and said, hey, their parents are clear? Because I know what you've said, Chris.
Right, but
Why?
they can't.
Why?
Because the
Protocol.
investigation is still ongoing, because Sebastian is still missing, which is why they came out and clarified that no, we are not suspects, and yes, we are.
If you're not guilty, the first thing that they would do, just like with Elizabeth Smart, is come out and say they're not guilty. Same thing with Brandy. Brandy Neal Monkey, Michael Monkey Vaughn's mom. That's what they're going to do. They're not going to, and others in the news. That's just who I think you're familiar with. But that's what they're going to do. They're not going to just allow you to be sitting there hanging in the public's eye and take all this criticism and stuff.
There's so many agencies involved in this investigation.
I agree.
And across the board. And you think of an alphabet, it's probably involved, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I have begged and begged and begged, and so has my wife. Seth, when he was at the house before, same thing. We all asked, why can't you come out and just say it? Y'all told us to our faces.
Mm-hmm.
And the response we get, because it's an ongoing investigation and protocol does not allow us to do that. That is the answer we're given.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying you're telling a lie. I'm just wondering why, because I would be demanding. I really would be demanding. I'm just trying to think, I would do everything in my power to, and I'm not saying you're not. I'm not saying, again, my intro, one of my intros has it on there. I'm not saying, but you are suspicious, or this is suspicious, however I say it. And I mean that. Things don't add up. Stuff don't add up. I'm not going to sugarcoat stuff, but I'm not trying to be disrespectful either. I'm really not.
So here's something that's very unique. We talk about it whenever they come and they talk to us or they call us on the phone. This is a case that literally has got all of these agencies stumped. Okay, and I'm saying this very openly, as far as playing devil's advocate. Let's say one of us was suspected of foul play. Let's say something, right?
Right.
There's no way that we would outdupe all these agencies. There's no way. However, this 15-year-old boy has managed to outdupe Everybody. Call him Houdini. He always wanted to be a ninja, and we kept goofing around. Well, he has officially done it because poof, nothing. And it's, the cops have told us this is a case that will go down as a researched study case where they're asking the questions and looking for answers, and literally nothing. Everything they try to come up with, blank.
Yeah.
There it
Yeah.
is.
I won't keep y'all on here all night, but I want to ask you, like, how.
There it is. Him saying it's going to go down in history. So, you guys, be my guest here. Let me get this back on the screen for you. And give me a call. Don't be shy. 715-965-8617. I can't wait to hear from you. I know it's going to be a little bit slow for people to get used to it, but once you do, I think you'll enjoy it. Like I told everybody, I mean, you can show up in your house slippers if you want. We don't care. Interior Friendly Studio says the male speaker is Chris Proudfoot. Right. Deborah Lynn Polly says, if Sebastian was my son, I would be completely comatose, a crazed mother pleading, begging, please, please, find my child. My legs may be sore from searching, but I would crawl to the ends of the earth. Bless your heart, I know what you're saying. Lori Blythe says, I would not get a wink of sleep if my child was missing. I'd end up in the psych ward, most likely. I feel you guys. I feel you ladies, you moms. I feel you. Laura Toel says, after the stunt he pulled the other night, I can't listen to him. Yeah. Everything about this case is screaming Don Wells, and the Summer Wells sequel. And that's scary. That's really scary. I mean, it's in Tennessee. I'm not going to go through how many similarities there are. But let's just say we're talking about a mattress now, aren't we? And most likely a soiled mattress. And it makes me wonder, when he says that he liked, and he used that word, and I'm not going to repeat that full sentence because that angers me, but that attitude that the stepfather has makes me think of him also saying, as he said, that the crime needs to fit the punishment. And I'm like, what did he do? Did he make Sebastian? Did they make Sebastian sleep in the garage? And then, I hate to ask you guys this, but I have to ask because I don't hold anything back. Is it possible that through this, where Chris isn't in the home since the beginning of February, he's also stated he didn't want Sebastian around his daughter, and we've heard discord that the marriage was in trouble. Was there an ultimatum on the table between Sebastian and CP? And was that the night that the car lights stayed on while the car ran in the garage? Is that why people said that they saw the lights on inside the garage, but not outside? Could that have been premeditated? He would just fall asleep, right? And not wake up, right? It's freaking me out. Lee McKenna says, I do think Katie is on some heavy meds. She looks very far out in some of the interviews. He's there to make sure she doesn't slip up, in my opinion. Elmer Woods said, if Chris hit Sebastian with a belt for lying, what's the punishment for bedwetting? I don't know. That's a good question. Ruby Slippers, he does sounded like he was bragging. Even the cops will study this for years. The guy actually thinks he pulled off a perfect crime, in my opinion. Crime on a Dime. Hello, lovely. Welcome, welcome. Be sure and check out Crime on a Dime's channel. You say he's absolutely nauseating. Hey, Chris, you said, I find it funny he was answering Nancy Graves. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. But every other woman he speaks to, he's rude. Diana Bond says, yes, I believe it was premeditated. There would be no marks on him at all. Never. Wouldn't have left a mark. Huh. Just leaves me speechless. You guys, that phone line's open, 715-965-8617. Be sure and give me a call. Voice your opinion. Tara, I might just do the call-ins at night. It seems like a better time for everybody. Lee McKenna says, did one of the neighbors not say that Chris had the high-pressure hose on Sebastian? Now that is really cruel. The power of them could rip your skin. And that's why I don't believe it. I don't believe that neighbor. I do not. Because if you, my husband, my ex-husband, thank God, ex, he pressure washed houses for a living. And if you're using, quote unquote, a pressure washer, that child would be in the hospital if that were true. And that didn't happen that we know of. So I don't believe that for a minute. There's no way. But that's my opinion. Aw, you say love me, Crime on a Dime. Thank you, lovely. But could it be a high-powered hose? Yes. Where you just get it to spray your car off and it's just one of those kind that stings the crap out of you? Absolutely. But not a pressure washer. Not a legitimate pressure washer machine, no. That peels the paint right off the walls. Diana Bond says it might be true. Another form of ABUSE. You know, it could have been that he used a high-powered hose with cold water on Sebastian in front of the neighbors. That could have happened. And it could have been done because that could have been a punishment for the pee-pee. I don't know. Okay, Dreamweaver says that you believe that the thud was possibly Sebastian throwing something against the garage door from the inside, in my opinion. What if she locked him in the garage? I don't know. Harbor Bay says the pressure can be adjusted to lower PSI. That's true. Good point, Harbor Bay. Chris says he may have been far enough where it was just misting him. Jens counts. Hi, everybody. Was Sebastian made to sleep in the garage because of him, you know, as a firm punishment because of him having the urination issue? Jenny Troglin says, working at the Oberhall base for TWA, I saw a dude cut 2 fingers off with a pressure washer. Blah. Yuck! Dang, Jenny, you needed to put a trigger warning ahead of that one. Whew! I guess, you know, you could be looking at a lower PSI, or like I said, a really high-powered, just normal garden hose. Shoot, you can kink it and spray it hard enough to sting you, and if it's ice cold, it's still not right. Tarot Destiny says, yes, my husband power washing Dak in bare feet. The one got stepped on and blew a hole in his foot. We were in the ER for 6 hours. Boom. That's what I'm saying. Nope, that's not the same Chris. Nope. Different Chris. Thank you guys. No worries. Jenny, you're so cute. I love you. Chris, you can switch the tip of the pressure washer to where it has different types of pressure. I don't know enough about it, but you could be right. Christina says, I would go and check if I heard a thud. I agree. I absolutely agree. All right, my lovelies, I'm going to jump up here. I want to say thank you. Let's switch those screens back over. We'll get rid of that. And we'll come back over here. I do find it interesting. Let's do a little summary here. We have a bed in the garage. We know that right out of Chris Proudfoot's mouth. Katie's claiming to hear a thud. Right? She never checks on him. We've heard that there was a light on inside the garage all night, but there were no lights on outside. Could the lights on in the garage have been the car running, but it just got forgotten and left on, and Sebastian's locked in there? Because that'd be an easy transfer from the bed to the car, right? And then you're looking for him, so you leave with your car. You leave your door open, air it out, and you've never laid a hand on that individual. That's a scary thought, isn't it? Let's say a prayer. I ask all the things in the world to go away and just connect us with the pure source of love. We ask you to watch over Sebastian Rogers. Bring him home safe to those that love and care about him. Bring him home regardless of the condition. Leave that closure in our hearts so that we may allow him to rest in peace. We can't rest without knowing. Bring some closure to this beautiful father that's trying to find his son. I ask all these things in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Thank you guys. I really, really hope that he is found soon. I'm very disappointed that we don't have any leads at this time now. But we got to keep our chin ups, right? Chins up. I'm going to leave with no music today. I'm just going to leave silence. And that's because I'm just so damn disappointed that we didn't have a lead over in North Carolina. But I want there to be room for hope. So we leave our cup ready to accept hope. And we ask the universe to fill it for Sebastian. I love you all. To the moon and back.